Let me just say here that in the moment you're going to be thrilled with, many of you are going to be thrilled, depending how I wouldn't even say how dedicated you are about new conservatism, whatever, post-COVID conservatism, the new Tucker conservatism, etc. You're going to be very thrilled. But first, let me start with this. Wait, what was that? Oh, yeah. Oh, Alice, you're such a... remind me to remember something about you, too.
No.
Yes. A group of huge, high-profile conservatives over the weekend got the tow truck driver treatment from Alice Shattuck, Alice.
It's not true.
You know what you became? I want to tell you something. Let me tell you. Let me tell you something.
You like to bully me into taking photos. And so if you're going to make me be in photos, then I want to look my best. That's all.
There was no photos taken. But let me tell you something.
I'm suspicious when these situations arise that you're going to ask me to be in a photo.
You're going to hear this, guys, in a moment. Alice Shattuck came out as the sexiest woman in the history of a breakfast buffet. Dressed to go out on the town, absolutely just banging. It was incredible. And it wasn't for me, which is not shocking. Not shocking. Okay.
Normal.
Now, let me tell you this.
If I'm afraid somebody's going to take a picture of me.
Let me just tell you.
Like you, mostly.
Okay, so here's the thing. Mm-hmm. I just got back from the grocery freezer, the market where I go, the market basket where I go, as a matter of fact. Mm-hmm. And I told you last week that some dude who was checking... who was ringing cashier, obviously a high school kid, said to me, hey, we're playing a game. He engaged me, first of all, while the other customer was still standing there, but he was done with that customer. He was done talking to him. He was now on to me. And he said, we're playing this game. We're trying to figure out what people do for a living. But before you get out of here. So
what did he possibly think?
First he said, okay, was it something you went to college for, engineer, this and that? And I said, nope, no college. He said, no. And so I knew there was no chance. He had no chance. I said, okay, so I'm not dressed well, which he said, yeah, okay, yeah. He acknowledged.
Good point. True.
Right, exactly. And so he got nowhere close. He said, are you an artist? You create something? I said, yes, I do create something, but he didn't quite do it. And so he said, okay, so what is it? And I said, I host a radio talk show. And he said, oh, and then I left. I had to go. What was it? But I was totally cool with it. He was good at his job, and we got to talk about me for 20 seconds, which of course, what's going on?
Nothing.
Which is
I'm not on camera right now.
So. Oh, okay. So you're holstering them. Okay, I see. So anyway, today I go back there. And once again, it's my guy. He sees me and he says, oh, the radio talk show host. He said, so is it sports talk or something? Okay, so right there I was like, no, he didn't Google me. This is no good. I said, no, I do talk radio.
How would he Google you?
But he should
radio talk show host who looks like a homeless person and may or may not have a jar of spaghetti sauce in his sweatshirt pocket.
Yeah, yes. Actually, I'm sure I come up if you put that in. So he said, oh, so sports talk? And I said, no, it's a political talk. And I do it from my house in West Newbury, which is already a little intimate. I'm telling this high school kid, but my house is just down the street, which is weird. But it's fine. So from my house in West Newbury, and it goes out to Connecticut, to Hartford, Connecticut. And he said, oh, cool. So you talk about like things in politics? I said, yeah, absolutely. Family, politics, culture, that kind of thing. And then the girl is bagging this his bagger is a girl also probably 17 years old. And she said, and I said, oh, but so yeah, I work for Odyssey. Have you heard of it? To the dude? And he said, I've heard of it, which means what?
He has not heard
of it. And he's not going to hear of it. And I said, I also host a podcast. And she said, what's it on? She used those words, what's it on? So I was thinking, like, does she mean what platform or whatever? And I said, you mean, what's it about? She said, yeah, what's it about? And I said, it's about, family stuff and, politics and the things that happen in life, et cetera. And she said, oh, wow, could I be able to listen to it? I mean, is it available out there? I said, yeah, it's out there, absolutely. And now he's back in and he said, oh, so how can I find you if I want to listen to you? And I said, well, I'm on from 11 to 2 every day. And he says, but can I listen online? And I said, well, you're probably at school. Also, which is something super pedophilia. You're probably at school. Like, leave him alone. But so she said, "Well, that sounds fun." Anyway, and then he said, "How do I find it?" And I said, "Okay, my last name's Shattuck, Shattuck. It's Shattuck.
Why don't you just search Burn Barrel Podcast in your podcast app?
Well, because Alice, I'm not good at this. So anyway, I'm sure that he had dialed 911 by then anyway. But anyway, so this is my thing. She was interested, and so is he. So Alice, this my whole key to my life is this. The whole key to my life is this.
If you can get enough Market Basket baggers to listen to the podcast.
No, is it? I wasn't cool for Gen X.
Mm-hmm.
I was not cool enough for the millennials. One sucker I scooped up and married me, who's 15 years younger than me. Fine, whatever. But the rest of them didn't take. They're not into me. I am cool for the Gen Zers, Alice. My core audience is 35 years younger than me. and that's my people.
I guess so.
These are my people. Like the two girls who work there, I told you that they might be sisters who I was...
They're into you.
I'm meant to be hanging with high school kids.
Definitely. That is definitely not the takeaway.
They get me.
That is not a good conclusion to draw from this.
They get me. Alice, we've all had the same amount of college, right? Right?
They've had more high school.
Yes, they have had more high school. It's absolutely. I barely got out of there, and I rarely showed up. This is my class. You know what? I'm class of 2028. Going forward, is that what's class now? What year is this? 2024, 2026.
Our daughter's 2029.
These are my people. Imagine that they think I'm cool. This is all I ever needed. Oh my God. So, anyway. You're probably in school
I don't
those
know
hours.
where to take the show from here.
And I gave him the last name. But also, I would have there was part of me hoping it was he'd be like, "Oh no, dude, let me Google it right now," so I could have something. But he's like, "Oh, okay," but
I feel like maybe they're just trying to make conversation to make their boring job more interesting.
No way, no, Alice, I have arrived, and it is with the Zillennials or whatever what is this generation? Who ampersand? What is that? What are they called?
They're Gen Z and Zoomers.
Yes.
Our daughter is on the cusp of, and our younger children are in Gen Alpha, so called.
Well, there you go. Next time I should probably get their names, Alice. I'll ask their names.
No.
What's your name?
I need you to be able to go to Market Basket and not be banned from there with a restraining order.
I'm with my bro.
So, because I'm going to then not only have to do all the work in the house and stuff, but then all the grocery shopping too, and I just think you don't understand us, man. Okay, you olds don't understand us. Never trust anyone over 30, dudes. If you're listening, if you found me, okay. So which reminds me of our big moment this weekend. I mean, come on. Alice and I, we went to Connecticut. At a remote broadcast there, so we're staying. There's more this week, actually. So if you want to hang out with us in Connecticut, we will be in Connecticut Thursday, Friday, and Monday. So that's.
Didn't you say that
Thursday
last time?
Thursday the 19th, Friday the 20th, and Monday the 23rd. We will be remote broadcasting in Connecticut. Right. You can check the WTIC website for the schedule because some are in Avon and some are in Glastonbury, and I honestly don't remember which are which. So, we'll be there for those, and we are still planning the Burn Barrel Gathering for January 20th, which will be in Massachusetts. We're not sure exactly where yet. We need a rough head count in order to choose a location. So please RSVP if you think you will want to attend that.
Yeah, please do.
burnbarrelpodcast@gmail.com. We'll tweet it out also. But hopefully by the end of this week, if you can give us an indication if you think you want to go, that'd be great.
So, Avon, Connecticut. I'm not going to say where exactly. I apologize if I'm coughing into the microphone. I'm not good at this. Avon, Connecticut. We're at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
There's a function going on, and I noticed they've got a little the table after it breaks out. The table in front of the function room has these little stickers and these bracelets that say, I will not be locked down, and these stickers that say, what does it say?
My pronouns are we won.
My pronouns are we won. So I'm like, okay, something's happening here. Something here. Our people are here somewhere. I'm not sure which one. And then I'm noticing, like, the look of these people. These look like people who have big brains, big houses, and have swarm near power, as we're seeing them. And eventually, my son, of course, gripes a bracelet because he's a thief, like his mother. Oh wait, I actually have the thing right here. You can see it. Can you see it?
Kind of. You're on this camera right now, so it's a little high.
Matter.
But
It's
anyway,
really not important.
you have Tom has his pronouns are we won on his computer.
Yes,
now,
I got that sticker. So I'm like telling Alice, like, I think there's a lot of like Republican power happening here. I feel it, and there's some. Oh, well, that's right. We saw that Senator
Ron Johnson.
Senator Ron Johnson
Was the
I saw
big
his
speaker.
name tag on the table, so I'm like, wow, okay, he's here. This is something because he's coming in from out of town, obviously. As it turns out, as I'm looking for him, I was going to ask him about the UFOs. I was going to try to ask him, but I wussed out actually. I assume they would have thought I was a potential assassin and just shot me through. Everybody said, "Oh, you think that's wrong to UFOs?" My appearance now, I present as a threat now. So anyway, he was staying right down the high, so I'm going to his hotel room. Of course, I saw you going to your room. So I guess I'm going to his hotel room, and I'm like, Alice, he's staying like right down the hall from us. This is like something's happening here. So then, Alice, we get one of the kids to watch the baby in the room. The baby's asleep. We're 30 feet away is the bar. So I'm in the bar, and I'm like, my son says, I said to my son, James, these are prestigious people around here. I'm not sure who they are, but like I know I've seen like that guy with the beard. I've seen that guy there. I've seen these people. And
So I think the first person that you just randomly recognized by name was Eric Weinstein. Or Brett Weinstein.
No, it's Brett Weinstein.
Okay, I forgot which is
but
which.
But I didn't see him yet. I thought I saw him. That's right. I thought I saw him in the bar. I'm like, is that Brett Weinstein? As I'm getting to go to the bar to order 1 beer and 3 Shirley Temples for the boys, there's this other guy named Tom Harrington. And I'm like, he sounds like somebody. He's talking about the Spanish Revolution. Like, and I'm like, well, this is a heavy conversation at this place. There's something happening here. So anyway, as it turns out, my kids, of course, I bring back Alice comes and meets me. I bring back the Shirley Temples to a pool table right outside of the bar, where my kids, of course, are throwing the pool balls because that's how they do it. And across the pool table, bumping them around. And in comes this guy with a beard, a thick white beard.
Like Santa looking.
Yeah, like Santa little, who comes over with his wife and says, oh, you know what? That's exactly the same way my grandkids play. It's exactly the same way. And I said, oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, we're trying to teach them just with small talk, whatever. And I said, I know. We know that guy. We know that guy. That guy was
Dr. Robert Malone, the inventor of mRNA guy, who was talking about the vaccines. Right. So at this point, we're like, okay, and we know the Weinsteins are here. We know Dr. Robert Malone's here. And then I recognized, because I was like a big Ron Paul person and into all the liberty stuff, that Jeffrey Tucker is there, who, like, I've liked on Twitter forever. He's been around. Right. He's done all kinds of stuff in the, like, liberty and Bitcoin and, like, all these things. It turns out, so this event, it turns out, is from the Brownstone Institute, which is sort of the continuation of all the Great Barrington Declaration stuff. So Jeffrey
in other words, you're doing COVID wrong stuff.
Yeah, so Jeffrey Tucker had organized the Great Barrington Declaration, and Jay Bhattacharya and all these people to speak out about how like the COVID stuff was all wrong, and like this is their sort of continuation of it. So they're doing this like political project, and it turns out he lives in West Hartford, and they're doing an event next week.
Thanks for telling everybody where he lives. Not that it matters. But
he
does
there,
this
local.
event.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so then Alice, I'm like, we're like, okay, Alice, we gotta. Then Brett Weinstein sits down on a couch next to Jeffrey Tucker, next to all these other heavies, and you can see they've all got big names and profiles, etc. And they're talking like they talk about issues like they talk. It's amazing. about lockdowns, about this, about Trump. I saw two of them were shooting the priest about Kamala Harris. You can't believe that these people are actually here talking about stuff you want to talk about. And I'm like, oh my God. I was just like giddy. And at no point did they ever say, Tom, we'd like your 2 cents on this. But so we're like, okay, we need to go at least say hi. I texted my brother, and he's like, you got to hang out with Weinstein. It's not that simple. They're all in a circle, and they're sitting down. Alice Shattuck comes out. First of all, like I told you before, she comes out armed to the hilt with femininity.
If
it's fair
are
to
going
say.
to bully me into doing a selfie with somebody, then I have to like be prepared to be in a photo.
Alice, okay, fine. She is looking good, so this is perfect. So she takes me, and we go, and she introduces herself to Jeffrey Tucker
And Brett Weinstein.
And by the way, I did have a good line available. Do you remember what my line was that I said to the group?
No.
I said, I can't believe I'm in Connecticut and there was such a consortium of rational thinking. I actually got through it.
You said the most wanted. What did you say? Something like that.
Oh, well, yeah. I don't know. But
I don't
got it
remember
right.
your line either.
I've been
but
working
your
on
Rogues Gallery or something.
No, Murderer's Row.
Murderer's Row.
Of rational
okay.
thought.
They
That's
replied with Rogues Gallery. I forget. But they thought
Right.
your line was very funny.
There
Definitely
we go.
hit.
There we go. Brett Weinstein laughing at my line. And then Alice goes in with her beautifulness and it all or whatever and charms them. And then in one place it was like I said Brett Weinstein's name and I said I couldn't believe I'm walking through this hotel in this state and there's Brett Weinstein is he. And he got up and he said, "Oh, what are your names?" And he introduced himself. And the guy was great and charming. They were all awesome. These people there were heirs from far away. You're like, this is a lot of money, and that a couple of these guys know how to order a Manhattan and a martini. Like they're good at this. They
can interact in the market basket without coming across as creepy pedos.
Yes, they can. They have that absolutely. But these guys were fantastic. We were so thrilled to meet them and talk to them, and I think we're going to have Jeffrey Tucker on.
I think so.
Yeah, I messaged him and he messaged back, and we're just thrilled. You guys know what I mean. If you didn't expect, like if you're staying suddenly staying somewhere, and like these people are staying there multiple days, and like so are we. You know, I had to pretend to not really be listening in as I walked by. You know, it was just great, and so we're thrilled. And it tells you, Alice, we should do more. Imagine. I want to be cool. I want a Manhattan Institute. Manhattan Institute. Brownstone.
Brownstone Institute.
I want to have that intellectual.
Well, they're having a party next week. Their supper club is next week in West Hartford. It's on their website,
Tom?
brownstone.org, and you can go sign up for tickets for their supper club, and you can go to that. Maybe we should try and go. We're supposed to be there next Wednesday night.
Yeah.
In Hartford, so maybe we'll go.
Each of them had their own brand. You would know them. If you guys saw them, I know most of you guys know Brett Weinstein, but if you saw them, their own brand, like Jeffrey Tucker's suit that he was wearing is not available widespread.
Off the rack, no.
Yeah, no. That is a suit that's was big in 1876 at the Greenfield Convention, where fiscal policy was discussed at a driving range where Herbert Hoover was the bartender. It's like there was stuff happening there. Which brings me to the next thing. Have we exhausted this enough yet?
I think we've exhausted that.
And by the way, I do think it's clutch the fact that you were like just ballsy like that and just go after it. Alice did the same thing. I was interviewing Michelle Malkin 10 years ago, and Alice was upstairs in our hotel with all the kids. She comes bombing in and gets right in the middle of talking to Michelle Malkin and taking pictures or whatever. And when Alice wants something, she goes after it. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. It's so odd, though. You know what? You had pictures with Michelle Malkin. And
it's before she went full neo-Nazi.
Right. Alice got pictures with Michelle Malkin, and oddly enough, there was far less skin showing. I wonder what that's about exactly. Huh.
I looked cute though.
You did look cute. Okay. Where do you want to start? Okay, let me start. Let me tell you where we're starting.
Okay.
We've got a problem here. One, the drone thing is still happening. It's happening.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, though,
all
because
over
now
the place.
people are sending up drones to look at drones.
It is happening all over the place. This guy tells... no. It is happening all over the place, and it's not stopping. So there's this incredible... Did I send it to you? I thought I sent it to you. There's this incredible news clip of the drones. And listen to this.
And Bill and Sandra, you know, when things like this are happening, it seems everyone starts
ABC
to
News.
look up, like my crew and I
News
have been
one is
here in
ridiculous.
Mendham recording.
Why is it ridiculous? Do you see the thing spinning around in the air?
That's like it's just a trick of the camera where it does that when it's unfocused on something like a star or something bright.
No,
in the
it's
sky.
not.
Yes,
No,
it
it's
is.
not.
This video
The
that you're
camera's
looking at
not
right now, we
focused.
have no idea what it is, if it's a
It's an
natural
orb.
phenomenon,
It's not
because
an
it could
orb.
be.
Come
Yes, it
on.
is.
This is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort out
It's an
what they're seeing
unfocused
in the
video.
skies. But I guarantee
No.
there's so many people looking up and making those recordings because this mystery is one that
And-
needs to be solved.
Yes, and you're hearing more and more of these stories. As a matter of fact, my TikTok account, I put another one of these up, where they're saying, we have no idea what we're seeing here. We have no idea.
Just because a random person on the internet has no idea what they're seeing doesn't mean that it's something that's a thing.
It's
That
not.
being
No,
said,
this
Chris
is,
Christie said he saw drones at his house 2 days ago.
Yes,
So,
it-
I mean, like, but like I say, at this point, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy because everybody who has a drone is now sending up their drones to look around at other people. And I'm suspicious of it, too, because I can't help but think that maybe the government is sort of ginning this up in a way because they want more powers. Because now, of course, they've been sending Mayorkas out here. And apparently, like, Hochul is pushing for this bill. And Chris Christie was talking about it, too, that they want the ability for states to be able to coordinate with the Fed to shoot stuff down out of the sky. Like, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. There was a whole thing that, like, the Patriot Act expires later this month. So, like, maybe that's why this is happening now. But for all these sort of, like, big government types to be going on Sunday shows and being like, we can't do anything about the drones, guys. We just need more government power. Like,
Oh, we're
I
gonna play
find
that in a
that
second.
suspect. The whole thing.
we're going to play that in a second, believe me. But here is what I was talking about. This is from News Nation.
I got to be honest here. You know, when this story first came out a few weeks ago,
As a reporter.
as a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. Take a look.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights.
I didn't believe what I was seeing. But what was I seeing?
We're here in central Jersey. We've been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there.
One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it? Hours earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department.
And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
I see one right here. Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before. Wow.
There you go. Another reporter.
Okay, I mean, I know. I just, like I say, we do have law enforcement and stuff sending up drones now, too, to, like, look for the drones. So there's definitely drones out there. I did see one interesting theory. Did you see the drone guy who, like, is a drone manufacturer or whatever? You
No.
don't have to play the video. It's, like, 10 minutes long. Like, the too long, didn't read version of it is that he's saying he thinks, like, so he manufactures and has like defense contracts, like military grade drones. And he thinks that a nuke got out of the Ukraine war and is somewhere in the United States, and that they're looking for it. He thinks that the behavior of the drones is like military drones searching for something. That this is like our military looking for
good.
an escape.
At least it's not orbs.
But he prefaced this with like 6 minutes of like, I don't actually know anything, and I don't want to spread misinformation. This is totally just a complete guess. So I mean, like,
the problem is this: is that if you listen to Mayorkas, we'll play right here. Essentially, he's saying there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we will do.
Unless you give us new authority.
But he's saying there's nothing we can do. So in other words, if an army of drones just comes over with rockets and just starts firing, he gives me the impression that we have no way to defend ourselves.
President-elect Donald Trump, he just called on the Biden administration for you guys to either release any information it has about these mysterious drone sightings or shoot the drones out of the sky. How do you respond to the president-elect?
Well, first of all, the statements I've made already are the principal message that I want to communicate to the American public. We haven't seen anything unusual. We know of no threat. Secondly, we have gone to Congress repeatedly asking for more authority to counter drone activity. And we have also asked for more authority to give to the state and local officials under our supervision.
So right now, there's no Iron Dome for the country. Right now, there's no defense system. There's no policy in place. No, we need more authority. What if these things start shooting? Where's the authority?
Because he correctly notes those authorities need to be expanded.
I want to play something another New Jersey congressman, Republican Jeff Van Drew, said about the drones over his state in New Jersey. Listen to this.
We're not being told the truth. They are dealing with the American public like we're stupid. They don't know what it is. They don't know what it's about. They haven't taken one down to analyze it. They have no idea where it comes from, but they know that it's not that. I mean, that's nonsense. They do not know what they're doing. Why don't they take one of them down, analyze it, and let us know what's really happening?
What do you say to the congressman?
Well, first of all, we have experts, and he should not diminish the extent of their expertise and the extent of their dedication to the well-being of the American people. These are individuals who dedicate their careers to the safety and security of the United States of America, number one. Number two, it's not as though anyone can just take down a drone in the sky. That in and of itself would be dangerous.
Do you have the authority to shoot down drones?
Our authorities are very limited. That is precisely why we have gone to Congress to expand those authorities. Our authorities are limited by the United States Coast Guard in the maritime environment, the United States Secret Service in its protection of our national leaders, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection with respect to the border. We have various authorities that are discrete to the particular missions. We can't just shoot a drone out of the sky.
Do you know for
amazing. No, we can't. Sorry. No, the authorities, no, you can't just shoot it out. Why? No, this, I want you to just shoot it out of the sky.
But drones are allowed.
I don't care if drones are allowed. If we don't know what these things are, and there's suddenly swarms of them, which there are now, then blow one away and apologize later. Let's see what's going on. It's absolutely amazing. The ineptitude.
If you had a drone up in the air that you'd paid thousands of dollars for, like a fancy one, and the government shot it down, you'd be pissed.
Sure. But when they said, oh, this is just one of 200 that are swarming in from the ocean, and we don't know what's going on.
We don't know that that's what's happening either, though. And so, and Splash says this in the chat, the only satisfactory response to the drones is for big government to be able to spy on us with impunity. Exactly. This is what worries me. I don't want to give them more power just because there's this like mass hysterical event about drones that might not even be drones. Like, we don't know what it is.
Okay, but something crazy is happening, and the government that we pay all this money to for the smartest people on the earth.
Is the government causing something crazy to happen and then gaslighting everybody about it and saying that we need to pass a special law so that we can shoot them down?
I don't know if that's what's happening. But in the meantime, I mean, I don't know. What is the law that you want? What's the new law that we're trying to get? I mean, what is this conspiracy theory? It's
not a conspiracy theory. Chris Christie, Hochul's been pushing for it. Chris Christie went on TV today and pushed for it. They want the local state governments to be able to coordinate with the state police to shoot stuff out of the sky.
Okay, I think we need to be able to shoot stuff out of the sky when we need to be able to shoot stuff out of the sky. I'm for it. I want that. I won't. I don't want there to be so this is so the policy is working. So in other words, no, we don't want to preemptively do anything. We'll handle it afterwards. So okay, fine. There were some collaborators for the 9/11 attacks who were prosecuted. So there you go. Job well done. We could also have just stopped the attacks beforehand. That would be okay with me too. But this is like
but
just
no
waiting.
attack has happened yet.
Okay, that's fine. It didn't on September 10th
For all
either.
we know, these are just government drones. And they're just doing this
For all we
to
know?
make everybody
Really?
panic, so they can pass some new law that they want so that they can shoot and destroy your stuff with impunity.
Okay. Well, then that's not good, is it?
Maybe it's not. But, I mean, like, I don't know what it is, so I'm not willing to give Chris Christie and Kathy Hochul more authority. I know he's not the governor right now, but I'm not willing to give people like that more authority to shoot my stuff while we find out. Like, that's not a solution.
Yes, it is. We need to be able to blow these things out of the
No.
sky, and this is ridiculous. You're overthinking. We can't be pragmatic. We have to think this through.
You want Mayorkas?
It's you and John Kerry sitting next to each other, and Mayorkas sitting
You
next
want
to each other.
Mayorkas to have more powers?
I want
In a
to be able
department
to.
we didn't even have before 9/11?
I want to be able to prevent a large-scale drone attack or attacks right now. And I think it starts with taking one down and seeing what it's about.
I think if these were really from a foreign actor, we would know that, and the government would be shooting them down.
We don't know that. These guys, these 9/11 terrorists flew all over the country with us chasing our tails, managed to like get two into the World Trade Center, one in the Pentagon? Really?
Okay. So now we all have to get felt up by the TSA forever because Tom Shattuck is scared.
No. Well, the TSA
Of drones.
No. Well, I'm telling you, Alice, if we get hit and if we can't do anything because we're just not able to, then maybe somebody should say that. But right now, there is somebody who is having a good time.
The government's trying to make you scared.
Bull.
I think they are.
Okay, that's fine. But, 6 Italian yahoos from New Jersey are going to get their AKs and blow this sumbitch out of the air.
And it's going to be a drone belonging to some other New Jersey Yahoo who's going to have been up there looking for other drones. Like, there's not anything.
When the government doesn't act, the people will take it upon themselves.
Okay, well, we'll see what
And
happens.
I'm
I
with
guess.
the New Jersey Italian yahoos, by the way.
Okay, well,
I'm
Trump
with
can
it.
part
I'm
of
with
them.
my
It's
friend
fine.
Mike Montante.
Mm-hmm. Is he going to start shooting drones down?
He is. I have.
How is he going to go to the Burn Barrel inauguration party if he's in jail for?
We're gonna have it. We're gonna bring it to him. We're gonna have it in the yard of whatever federal penitentiary he's in.
Good.
Which brings me. We have to go back. By the way, I can't believe this.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the Brown. So the day after we had our cocktails with our friends at the Brownstone Institute, we go to breakfast, and not surprisingly, again, Alice Shattuck is dressed, like I said, the sexiest woman to ever be near a breakfast buffet like that. Totally, like not dressed for breakfast in a country, kind of a country inn setting, and she was absolutely banging. I'm all for it, but mostly this was for the Brownstone Institute people. And then, and these are like I said, this is like a lot of heavy genius stuff at work.
Mm-hmm.
And in walks with all the heavies who were at the table next to us, this tall, blonde, kind of an Alice Shattuck looking person, but though she towers over Alice, icy blonde, gorgeous woman who also has this air of knowledge and power about her, sitting down at the power table next to us. And what they have at this buffet is like little cereals, some fruit. It's a nice kind of country inn field buffet. There's some sausage, eggs, whatever. Out comes her meal from the guy direct from the kitchen, which is a sizzling bone-in ribeye with big chunks of brie cheese next to it. Power move by this gorgeous...
Maybe she does a carnivore diet.
Power move by this gorgeous blonde woman who, that had my heart, right? I want to be powerful enough to say, Yeah, I need you to cook me a bone-in ribeye.
I don't
with
think you have to be
6
that powerful. I think you just have to pay the restaurant for a different
6
meal than
slices
what's
of brie.
available.
That was
buffet.
absolutely destroying convention. And that was that. What a moment that was, Alice. You got real competition now. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry, dude. You better shape up, my friend.
What have I done wrong? I've done nothing wrong.
Oh, my goodness. You with your kids and feeding babies. Okay. So, well, I guess, do we want to mention, do we go to the chat? Or
I think we should go to the chat, and then we should talk about Sydney Sweeney and some other stuff.
And Trump now dealing with our buddy, which is, remember we
and the Army-Navy game.
What is, what was the guy's name, the longshoreman guy's name?
Harold Daggett?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Trump is...
Harold Daggett is on the team.
Trump is against port automation, so...
yeah.
There you go.
Harold Daggett, you guys wanted a broad tent? Well, he's in it now. He's in the tent. And yes, you're not going to have to worry about Dottie, Jonna is...
Jonna's got everything she wanted.
She got everything she wanted, and Trump is all on board. You figure, Daggett was a Trump's kind of guy anyway, but here we go. It's all good.
But today's world, it's changing into the future. They're not making millions no more. They're making billions, and they're spending it fast as they make it. I want a piece of that for my men, because when they made their most money was during COVID. When my men had to go to work on those piers every single day, when everybody stayed home and went to work. Not my men. They died out there with the virus. We all got sick with the virus. We kept them going. From Canada to Maine to Texas, Great Lakes, Puerto Rico, now the Bahamas, everybody went to work during COVID. Nobody stayed home. Well, I want to be compensated for that. I'm not asking for the world. They know what I want. They know what I want. And if they don't, well, then I have to go into the street and we have to fight for what we rightfully deserve. These people today don't know what a strike is. Right. When my men hit the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port will lock down. You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in.
How is this guy not in jail?
The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the company's money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. In today's world, I'll cripple you.
And Trump sat down. So, yeah, see, no more automation at the piers, which is going to be an issue because it's going to give the advantage, of course, to our economic rivals who Trump has threatened to tariff.
Well, it's going to be interesting because Trump does have like Elon on board and other people who do a lot of manufacturing and stuff.
Who are for efficiency and against guys like that. But they're all this is the big tent now. We got everybody.
I know. We have Elon and Harold Daggett. So I don't know what's going to happen, but
all right,
onward towards the future. Yeah, the chat. And then on the other side, in the Patreon show, we'll talk Sydney Sweeney. We'll talk, what else did I say we were going to talk about? I know I had other things, but
I forgot.
I'll figure it out while you play the chat.
Hi, Steve from Merrimack.
Hey, Steve.
Has anyone done a wellness check on Tom?
What do you mean?
With this whole drone thing? Operation High Jump, Tom.
Yes.
A confrontation between allegedly during World War II.
Yes, after. Yes.
A confrontation between the United States, Nazis,
yes,
and aliens.
Yes.
A pitched battle was fought.
Yes.
1946 is not World War II, Tom. And 1946, denazification hadn't reached the Arctic yet, or wherever the hell this alleged.
I didn't make this up, Steve. You go look up Operation High Jump. I'm just learning about this.
It took place. What a crock of shit! Oh my God! Thank you.
I am not Steve. You look it up, Steve. I looked it up.
Tom learns everything from talk radio callers.
I learn a lot, and I stand by it. Dare he?
In BJ's replenishing my inventory for the holiday shoppers,
Good
and I
thinking.
understand that
In BJ's, he said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Messages now need to be kept under 4 minutes, and you don't need to label them anymore. So
No, label them. Please
No, he
label
said
them.
under 4 minutes, and he's making sport of you.
Oh, I see.
He said messages need to be under 4 minutes, and you don't need to label them.
Wait a second.
Exactly sure. I didn't really pay attention to that part of the chat. But Tom, who are you to all of a sudden be giving dating advice when it comes to the age gap in which men and women should be dating?
Yes.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't you more than a decade older than Alice?
That is correct.
So who are you to all of a sudden point fingers and say that the lovely Kimberly Guilfoyle would be too old because she is 8 years my senior? I mean,
He's
man,
anti-old
here
women.
am I, a guy with a dream, and you just extinguished it with your statements the other day. In the words of Tom Shattuck, how dare you?
I think she's probably a very lovely woman. I don't know, but Steve, I think I've seen
Tom's pro dating younger women, not pro
dating younger
older women.
Yes, exactly. I'm not going to say what's in my mind next. Because... Okay. Look at this. Talk about naming convention. Mike, RFK Nutrition. Here we go.
Is this it? All you can eat message?
Doesn't say that.
Hey, I've been meaning to message you guys for a couple weeks now to say that I heard Nina Teicholz has applied for a role under RFK to lead the rewrite of the USDA HHS dietary guidelines.
There we go.
And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Nina.
Negative.
But I've been following her for a couple years now, and I think she's great. She wrote a book called The Big Fat Surprise, which is about her journey from going from being a vegan or a vegetarian to changing course completely after looking at these nutritional studies and realizing the claims that were coming out of these studies did not match the data.
Right.
And that you need to look and see with a lot of these studies that are going on, who funds the studies and how does their interest match up with the claims
totally.
that come out.
I talked to Paige Lopez from A Weekend 180 last. We should have played some last week. She talked all about this, all of the studies. So the industry doesn't have the money for big studies. The companies do.
Mm-hmm.
So Post has all sorts of money for studies. They have all sorts of money to take lawmakers out to wine and dine them. They have all sorts of money. And of course, if you, by the way, and I talked to her about this too, like if you're telling the American, food industry that, hi, by the way, we're doing a food pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine the pay for play that happens? You're totally right about that, Mike.
Regardless of the data. And I first heard of Nina in a couple of documentaries called Fat the Documentary and Fat 2 the Documentary. And the reason I bring it up today is because I heard on Tom's show today on TIC, a caller mentioned another doctor named Dr. Dean Ornish, and he's in those documentaries too. And he's big on the plant-based food. And I'm more skeptical on him because, like I said, you gotta see who's funding these studies and what these people are claiming and what their interests are.
Totally.
So those are good documentaries. I highly recommend them. You guys should see it. And I actually emailed you a year, maybe over a year, probably right around when you started Awaken 180, and mentioned in the email that I'll actually pay for you guys to watch these documentaries if you want. I love you guys. I listen to you all the time. I don't pay for Patreon. I don't pay for Netflix or any of that stuff.
I understand.
So no personal offense. But this is like a hobby of mine. This whole thing has been a big thing I've been going down for the past, all this nutrition stuff for the past 4 or 5 years. And I'm loving that you guys are getting into it. So if you dig up that email and you reply to me, or I could send you another email if you want to watch these. I'll pay
Well,
for
let
it
me
for
tell you something, Mike, and I'll hold you there. Thank you. Nina Teicholz, I saw her years ago on Joe Rogan, and I actually then reached out and interviewed her. So she has been, I think actually that was for the Boston Herald, when I was with the Herald. And she is fantastic. And actually, Alice, you know what else?
What?
Pretty hot, too, to be honest. She was fantastic. You're right. She's great on this stuff. I could talk about this forever, Mike. Yeah, we'll talk more about this because we've been. Sorry, we got a son who's rummaging through the thing. Okay, Alice, you ready?
I'm ready.
So I was unaware of all this drone stuff that was happening. It just sort of started before I had left, and now that I'm back, I'm kind of catching up on things.
Yes.
And one of the things I find hilarious is that, especially when the government tells you not to look at something. There wasn't that movie on Netflix, Don't Look Up, and it was sort of about, I think it was about the COVID thing. Like people either believed it or they didn't. So somebody made a movie. Well, there is no meteor heading towards Earth. And people are saying, yes, there is. You can see it. Just look up. You can see it. And people wouldn't look up. I mean, it's just amazing. It's amazing what people will do to just avert everyone's attention.
There is something happening. Absolutely. My goodness. Come on now. Right, Alice?
Splash in the chat says, Alice looks like she's in her early 30s. Thank you. And Tom looks like a retired football high school lacrosse coach named Smitty. He had said earlier, actually, that you do have the creepy, flamboyant, wannabe coach vibe. He'll be taking his players on unchaperoned field trips to communist countries pretty soon.
You know what's funny you say that? I was thinking about that. Like, how Tim Walzian is it? That like, these are my people now, though, Alice. Right?
Don't spend too much time with them.
Mind your own damn business.
What? Mind your own damn business, what I say to you. All right. Ready? Oh, jeez.
Hi, Steve from Merrimack.
Hey, Steve.
Tom, what was the name of the show you played the sound cuts from about the drones in New Jersey? I want to check out that video because the host introduces his guest as, quote, my pal, Evan Cutler.
Yeah, that was Dan. That's on News Mediaite. That's Dan. Is it Dan Harris? The guy who runs Mediaite. Dan Abrams. You might probably remember him from way back from MSNBC, maybe. Went back when it was good. I think it's Dan Abrams. That was on Mediaite. Hold on. But I think that the guy, Evan Cutler, who works with him, and I think he works with in the same place on Mediaite. I think that's what's going on there. All right. Everything is lost. Hold on.
And I'm going, Evan Cutler? How do I know that name?
Oh, do we know him?
And then I realized I went to college with Evan Cutler.
Here we go.
I went to the guy was in Ithaca the same time I was. I was a freshman and he was a senior. And this guy is one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life.
Here we go.
He had his own campus comedy paper that was hilarious. And then he went on to be, I'm surprised they didn't give him more of an introduction. He went on to be like a writer and producer for The Daily Show and created and produced a bunch of shows for like CNBC and NBC, whatever. That was wild. Let me know the name of that show, if you please.
Yes.
Under 60.
Here we go, Steve. It is 57. Here we go, Steve. Comes crawling back now. Suddenly the drone theory is totally credible now to Steve. And one by one,
He
Alice.
didn't believe you, but he believes Evan
Cutler. Winning hearts and minds.
Hello, Dr. Cheswick in
Good day.
Dallas, Texas.
Very nice.
At a company meeting that's ending today.
Dr. Cheswick, his voice sounds like when they change a voice to protect anonymity.
Probably
right
that's
now.
what he's, yeah.
And just wanted to touch base about getting a pardon. Tom, maybe you can get a pardon for all of the kleptomania that you exhibit at Market Basket. I think
correct.
I want to know how I can get one too for any future crimes.
Yes.
Like that's the greatest thing ever to be able to get pardoned completely for future crimes.
Here, here.
Amazing. It's just money will get you anything in America. C30, C60, C90, go.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Does that mean Ford 30, 60, 90?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Tell us what that meant. But yes, I understand. I am not a thief. Obviously, there is a rationale based in truth and justice and morality for anything, any transaction I have with a company, unbeknownst to them. There's a reason for it. You ready, else?
Speaking of which, on the next All You Can Eat, we're going to have to discuss what was at risk of being stolen from the Mexican restaurant the other day that remained at the table. We're going to have to
What's
talk
that place
about
called? Tequila?
Casa Tequila.
Oh, touche, Casa Tequila.
They have stopped you.
Hey, guys. Just another Steve here.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
It's been a while since my last chat message. Alice, thank you for bringing up Emanuel Swedenborg on your last show last week.
Okay.
I actually grew up in the Swedenborgian Church and attended Swedenborgian schools K through 12 in Pennsylvania, where the church is headquartered. He was a very interesting figure in both science and theology. He even invented a flying machine in the mid-1700s.
Oh, wow.
He was an extremely prolific writer in theology and claimed that he was simply a vessel communicating the knowledge of the meaning of the Bible from the spiritual world through his meditative practices. As you know, Alice, Johnny Appleseed was a Swedenborgian evangelist who seeded his writings as he was also planting apple trees. A prominent family in the church going back many years is the...
By the way, hang on a second. This is very much like when I'm out with Alice and people talk right past me and go right to her and talk.
Well, this is really interesting.
Yes.
You don't find this fascinating?
I like it. I think it's interesting.
Family in the church going back many years is the Gyllenhaal family.
Oh.
Jake Gyllenhaal's grandmother was actually my next-door neighbor and second-grade teacher. I think regardless of your faith, you'd find Swedenborg a very interesting figure. Anyway, thanks again, Alice, for bringing him up. And I look forward to meeting you guys at the inauguration party.
Awesome.
Looking forward to it. Yes, I think this is great. Steve messaged me on Twitter, too. We talked a little bit about this because, Swedenborg is so interesting. And, for anyone who thinks that spiritual experiences are all wacky and silly, it's important to look at up until very modern times, people had these crazy spiritual experiences, and in other cultures they have them, and all humans did. So it's a little bit arrogant for us to assume that we're just smarter than everybody else who ever lived in our times. Yes, go ahead.
Who gets you if I die?
What does that mean?
Who gets you? Who gets to have you then?
Nobody.
You know, but you're for sale then again. You're back in the market, right?
I think I get to decide that depending on what kind of offers I get out there in the marketplace. I don't know.
See. Well, somebody would have to make a stronger pitch than I made.
I assume, yeah. I've learned. But if
well, the next time will you go
by
for?
the way, save your pitches until after
will you
something
go for
happens to
fat,
Tom. I'm not
drunk,
considering
borderline impoverished. Will that be? You'll be looking for all the same things.
My standards will be higher next time. But to save your pitches until after something happens to Tom. I'm not going to take any pitches at the moment.
By the way, I'm willing to act as consultant to work on your pitch with you.
Why are you trying to get rid of me? If you're watching on Patreon and in the chat right now, only Splash and Mick are in the chat right now, so join us. You can stay for the
Splash
Patreon
and
show.
Mick are quite enough, by the way.
Yeah, they are, but there's more people in here. I can see them watching who are not talking. That's why I say that. So
I think probably your attire has something to do with it, Alice.
What, they're scared? Anyway, stay where you are. We're going to go talk Sydney Sweeney. We're going to talk Biden pardons. We're going to talk about all kinds of other things. We'll see you in the Patreon show.